Hello everyone. Welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. Triple H became a two-time WWE Hall of Famer this Friday with his best friend, Shawn Michaels, inducting him into the class of 2025. The game also mentioned Vince McMahon, among other names, during his speech, which saw him earn praise from wrestling veteran Vince Russo. WWE has tried to distance itself from Vince McMahon ever since the latter faced allegations of sexual misconduct. However, that was not the case with Triple H's speech during the Hall of Fame ceremony, as the 14-time world champion made it clear that none of this would have been possible without his father-in-law. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's WrestleMania 41 Night 1 review, Vince Russo stated that he would like to give Hunter his flowers for mentioning the former chairman, as erasing him from WWE history does not make sense. Most fans feel Vince McMahon played the biggest role in taking WWE to the heights it is today. However, his time with the company came to an end a few years ago as he had to step down from his position amid allegations of sexual misconduct. The global juggernaut is now owned by the Endeavor Group, which has completely distanced itself from McMahon. WrestleMania 41 weekend delivered countless unforgettable moments, but none felt quite as poignant as the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony. Legends were honored, tears were shed, and stories were told that reminded the world why professional wrestling is more than just sports entertainment. It's family. But one moment stood out above the rest. When Triple H, WWE's chief content officer and one of the most influential minds in wrestling history, took the stage to induct Paul Heyman, fans were expecting intensity, insight, and maybe a little chaos. What they didn't expect: a respectful, heartfelt mention of Vince McMahon. "I wouldn't be standing here if it weren't for a man who, no matter what the world says, changed the business forever," Triple H said, pausing before quietly adding, "Vince McMahon." The room fell still. Fans on social media exploded with mixed reactions. Some cheered the acknowledgement of the man who built the global juggernaut that is WWE. Others questioned the decision, given McMahon's controversial exit from the company in 2023 following legal scandals and boardroom power shifts. But while fans debated, one veteran of the squared circle had a different take, and he's speaking exclusively to Wrestling Realm Insider. We caught up with former WWE Intercontinental Champion and locker room leader William Regal, who shared his thoughts on the moment with a perspective only a true veteran could offer. "There are moments in this business where emotion, history, and legacy all crash into one another," Regal told us. That was one of them. When asked about Triple H's decision to mention Vince McMahon during such a prestigious and public moment, Regal didn't hesitate. "Hunter's always been respectful of the past. Good, bad, or complicated. That's one of the things that sets him apart. He didn't glorify Vince. He didn't avoid him either. He acknowledged that wrestling wouldn't be where it is without him. That takes courage, especially in front of that crowd, under those lights." Regal, who has worked under both Vince McMahon and Triple H, said the moment felt less like a tribute to Vince and more like a passing of the torch in its truest form. Triple H wasn't defending Vince. He wasn't trying to rewrite history. He was simply doing what a man of honor does, recognizing the foundation, even if it's cracked. Following the mention, Vince McMahon immediately trended on X, formerly Twitter, with reactions pouring in from all corners of the WWE universe. Some fans were thrilled. Triple H just gave Vince the ultimate nod. Say what you want. WWE wouldn't exist without him. Respect. At Wrestlaking88, others felt the mention was out of place. "We're celebrating legends and good vibes. We don't need Vince's name back in the mix." At Kilakix. And of course, some took a more nuanced approach. Triple H walked a fine line. He acknowledged Vince without endorsing everything. It was raw, real, and respectful. At Pile Driver Podcast, the diverse reactions only highlight how complex Vince McMahon's legacy remains, and how carefully WWE is handling it in the post-Vince era. Sources within WWE have whispered that the Vince McMahon line was not part of the originally approved Hall of Fame script. Triple H, known for his emotional intelligence and gut instincts, allegedly added it during his final run-through of the speech backstage. He didn't ask for permission, a Backstage Insider told us. He said, "This needs to be said." And no one pushed back. That's the kind of respect he commands. It wouldn't be the first time Triple H has gone off script for the sake of authenticity. During last year's WrestleMania, he reportedly added a final tribute to Dusty Rhodes during Cody's post-match moment. Something that wasn't planned, but earned huge praise from the Rhodes family. This Vince McMahon nod might be another example of the game playing for legacy, not likes. Triple H's brief mention may have been a one-time acknowledgement, or the quiet reintroduction of Vince's name into WWE's evolving narrative. While Vince is no longer involved in the day-to-day operations, and his legal battles continue outside the ring, his shadow still looms over WWE. Regal offered a final thought on that very idea. Wrestling doesn't forget. It can forgive. It can evolve. But it never forgets. You don't erase people from history just because the ending was messy. You tell the whole story. That's what Triple H did. Whether this opens the door to future mentions, documentaries, or even an eventual WWE-produced Vince McMahon Hall of Fame induction, a controversial but not impossible idea, remains to be seen. But one thing is clear. Triple H knew the weight of what he was saying. And he said it anyway. WWE is in a new era. With Triple H at the creative helm and names like Cody Rhodes, Rhea Ripley, and Gunther leading the next generation, the company is thriving without the influence of its once omnipresent creator. Still, moments like Triple H's speech remind us that wrestling's past is never truly behind us. It lives in the echoes of theme music, the roar of the crowd, and yes, even the names we don't say out loud. Triple H chose to say Vince's name, not to glorify, not to excuse, but to acknowledge. Because sometimes, the most powerful thing a leader can do is simply tell the truth, however complicated it may be. As William Regal put it best, this business is about moments. That was one of them. And I'll remember it. Let me know if you'd like a version tailored for a podcast transcript, a WWE magazine-style recap, or a dramatic monologue script. Triple H became a two-time EW Hall of Famer this Friday, with his best friend, Shawn Michaels, inducting him into the class of 2025. The game also mentioned Vince McMahon, among other names, during his speech, which saw him earn praise from wrestling veteran Vince Russo. WWE has tried to distance itself from Vince McMahon ever since the latter faced allegations of sexual misconduct. However, that was not the case with Triple H's speech during the Hall of Fame ceremony, as the 14-time world champion made it clear that none of this would have been possible without his father-in-law. Speaking on Sportskeeda Wrestling's WrestleMania 41 Night 1 review, Vince Russo stated that he would like to give Hunter his flowers for mentioning the former chairman, as erasing him from WWE history does not make sense. Most fans feel Vince McMahon played the biggest role in taking WWE to the heights it is today. However, his time with the company came to an end a few years ago as he had to step down from his position amid allegations of sexual misconduct. The global juggernaut is now owned by the Endeavor Group, which has completely distanced itself from McMahon.